You're watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the November 17th meeting for the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good afternoon. Today is Monday, November 17th. I'll call this meeting for the Board of Works and Public Safety to order. The first order of business is roll call. Mr. Simmons?
Present.
Ms. Tisdale?
Present.
Ms. Smith?
Present.
Ms. Moore?
Present.
Chair is, Mr. York is present too, and Ms. LePage.
Here.
We have a quorum. First order of business on our docket is approval of minutes for regular meeting on November, which was held on November 3rd, 2025. Has everyone had time to review those minutes? Are there any edits or revisions? If not, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve?
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, our next order of business is awarding of the RFP. This is awarding a proposal for tree watering for spring of 2026. I'm going to look at Ms. LePage. Are we
I would ask the board to table this.
Table
Right now,
this.
not ready to proceed on or award at this time.
Okay, would you like us to table this for one meeting? Is that enough?
Let's do one more meeting.
Okay. So what date are we looking at on that?
It's the first meeting in December.
First meeting in December? December 1st, that's what I was thinking. Any questions of Ms. LePage, or do I hear a motion?
Motion to table till December 1st. Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Moving on. Our next order of business is approval of a contract between the City of Michigan City and the Michigan City Economic Development Corporation for professional consultant services to perform community and economic development activities in Michigan City for 2026 and 2027 for a total amount not to exceed $200,000 per year. I do believe Mr. Hulse is with us today, who is the Executive Director of the Michigan City Economic Development Corporation. Good afternoon, Mr. Hulse.
Good afternoon, Chair and Board of Works. Great to be here. Just a little history, and I can give a quick presentation if you guys would like to see that.
Perfect.
The EDCMC, we've been around for about almost 30 years. We've been a partner with the city since that time. The city has always give us a portion of our funding. You guys fund about probably one-fourth of our budget. Budget has grown from roughly $400,000 to almost $800,000. The city over the last 5 or 6 years have increased their funding to us to $200,000. When I came there, we were getting roughly $100,000, $125,000. And so it's been $200,000 for the last 5 years. So we don't come and ask you for a raise every year. What we do, we match that money 4-to-1. And so we use other funding from private sector and other grants to fund what we do for the city. We are the city's economic development arm. So we go out and find new business. We work with existing business. We also have become a kind of a conservatory for funding for projects. Corporations, foundations will give us money to offer to either business, i.e. like childcare. And so we have become kind of a source for people to give money with restrictions to certain types of business or certain projects, which is a great way for us to be used to be able to match city funds or different types of initiatives in the city. So again, this is one of our philosophies, economic prosperity for all. We also want to do a lot of work with workforce development, placemaking, storytelling. And so those are our big buckets, which I can go into much detail, but I know I don't have a lot of time to get into that. So for those people who don't know where Michigan City is, we give you some of our highlights, who we are, some of our media income or A ratings, but also tourism is big in our community. And so it's been one of our major industries for years. Go ahead. Last year, we did over $113 million in projects, and so that continues. We're seeing a lot of new projects in our city. We are pretty much getting economic momentum. I tell people there's been a lot of people, 20, 30 years before me who had a lot of dream, who have built stuff, and the city did a lot of plans. I can show you plans for the past 25 years. Some of those plans were great plans, just the wrong time. And I think we are looking back at how we can go back and look at some of those old plans and see if we can get them implemented, because they have some good ideas, just the wrong time. Go ahead. Over the last 4 years, we've done over $1.5 billion in capital investment. This is private capital investment. The city has probably done over $2 billion in public capital. So this is private capital. And so I want to differentiate that. This is private money being spent into the city in new construction. This year, we're hoping to hit $1 billion, which would be probably the biggest ever for the city of Michigan City. But those are not one project; those are multiple projects. As you look downtown, this is what you see: lots of new faces, either new projects or projects being bought out and being rehabbed. So there's been a lot of rehab in our downtown. Again, some that were completed over the past year: Rocco's Tavern, the Heron. And of course, in Midtown, which we sure like to see Midtown getting some traction, the whole Cellar Door. If you've not been there, a great location to hang out at. In process, the Brew Box hopefully be finished next couple of months. Hokkaido, they had their soft opening, and of course, working on 7-Eleven to see multiple restaurants in the plaza in the future. In terms of housing, across the country, there's a need for housing, and both market rate, workforce, and affordable. And so we're seeing a lot of market rate and workforce right now. So our next step is how do we get affordable, but also senior housing in the city. And I tell people you got to have the market rate on the high end before you get the affordable, because you got to use the funding from those to fund the affordable and senior homes. So we're working with other developers right now to figure out how to build that capital stack to make that happen. And it's not easy because there's a lot of huge gaps. And so some of our bigger projects, of course, the train station, you have not driven by lately. They hit the 12th floor, and the goal is to have the seventh floor side ready for leasing in March 2026. Solar, working on that to hopefully get something moving here in the next 6 months. Woodland Ridge, or first subdivision in 50 years. If you go it that way, you'll see homes under construction, and they're being sold as fast as they're being built. Today, we approve this project, corner of 7th and Wabash. It's a small 45 to 60 unit market rate apartment project in our downtown. A great small project for a community in downtown. And again, small, but we like to see all projects big and small in our community. So data center, number one, what you hear, there's people out there working, over 12 units out there working. Over 1,000 construction jobs and over the next 18 months. And this will bring a lot of funding into the city, but also put us on the digital map for more companies that are involved in high-tech industries that will create more jobs for us in the future. So this is the first of probably to attract more high-tech companies to our community. Fifth and Pine, this was awarded earlier this year in March. And so we are working behind the scenes to get this formalized. They've gotten the EDA approved by the commission. At some point next year, we'll be coming before the city council to figure out how to get their capital stack formalized, and hopefully we can break on something late fall of next year. Now, this is a great project. It will have a supermarket in the downtown. Probably won't see for the next 2 years, though. DME, local manufacturer, will have their grand opening this month, over 100,000 square feet. $20 million, probably 85 new jobs. If you like Vietnamese food, Highway 212, they did over $1 million renovation on that project. Then go back, go on. Okay. Today, the commission approved this project. It's 11 units just below the movie theater. $30 million project, and the goal is to start next year, start building. But this is for small business, people who are into like distribution, like All-Phase Electric, or you sell a carpet, you want to go over there, and there's a small office, 500 square feet, and then the rest is 12,000 square feet of warehouse space. And so this would be off Cleveland Avenue, and great project for the South Side. Another building being built for a spec building on Cleveland Avenue. It's the Aldridge done by Holiday Properties. This will be breaking ground in the next 30 days. Again, great project for the community. Working on getting the north side of these area plan. We're looking to do two master plan industrial parks. We have one developer who has come to the table to do the north side. They're proposing over 1 million square feet, probably 11 or 10 or 11 different buildings. So you'll have buildings over 100,000 square feet, 200,000 square feet on that project. So that'll be coming before the city council probably mid next year. There'll be a bond and all that. But the goal is to have a four-way stop on the highway, and then we're trying to attract another developer for the south side to do the same thing, industrial development for that side. Market Mall, as you're aware, been bought by Tunnel Blank, and there's other buildings being bought by other investors. So we don't have a clear path yet, but we're hoping they'll tell us exactly what they want to do. So at some point, you'll be hearing there'll be a plan on the bill on what they plan to do with that Market Mall. But they'll say no, they don't own the whole mall. There's other investors who own different parts of the mall. Again, working on the state prison. As you understand, this was also paused by the current governor. We're still working behind the scenes to access the prison and still complete a plan. Our goal is to have a plan complete, and so no matter what happens, when the time comes to pull the trigger, we plan to be ready. So that's the plan at this point. Vibrant Mission City, working to enhance the community, and so we have various initiatives going on. We have 7 folks who have been to Ball State community planning course from the program. We've had 2 academy classes graduate, almost 50 graduates, and we also, for the first time, completed our entrepreneurship program. We had 20 graduates to that, and so again, trying to work to make sure people can be part of what's happening in the city and enhance their knowledge so they can have access to what's going on in the city. We completed our 2040 plan about a year ago, and we're working that plan. The goal is to enhance the community and finding partners to make that happen. I tell people we don't do anything by ourselves. We have to find people who want to work with us, whether it's nonprofits, residents, the city, and the business community. So we're always trying to form new partnerships to make these things happen because there's a lot of work and we can't do it by ourselves. So we try to find people who want to have a vision and who buy into the plan and to keep things moving forward. So. And I always tell people why Michigan City. We think we got a great city. We have a great product, and we're always trying to make sure people here understand it, but also invite investors and newcomers to be part of the community and become involved, because that's the best way to make things happen, is to become involved. So with that, I'm here for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hulse. Any questions of Mr. Hulse from the board, commission? Or, I'm sorry, the Board of Public Works. Sorry, I just got to have another meeting. Mr. Simmons, you good? You're looking at me like
no
you're good.
comment. I think we're on the right road.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to open up for public comment. Public comment on this item? Any public comment on this contract? This is a contract with the Economic Development Corporation. Any public comment? Any public comment on this item?
Hey, Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. That's $200,000. How much will it go? How much of this will go to the salary of Clarence Hulse, and how much money has already gone into economic development? It seems like it's being used just to move money around and take it out of the hands of the controller's office, so the city council won't have any say on how money is being spent in the city. I heard they got $1 million gift was given to the city and went over to economic development. How much more money needs to go over there? And it's okay to look at the renderings and all the stuff that's going on. It's good for the city, but it's not good for the people who live in the city. That's all I need to say about that. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments?
Yes, Scott Mellon, Turner County Place. It was really encouraging to hear all this development. It's exciting. It's also exciting to hear that we have a 4-to-1 return on the city's investment of our $200,000 towards the EDC MC, and that they raise an additional $600,000 to their budget on their own. Just thinking that's a good ROI. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Any other public comments on this item? Any other public comments? Going once, going twice. All right, we're gonna close public comments. Any further questions or comments from the board? If not, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Support?
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Right, moving on. Next order of business is our HR policy changes. The Human Resources Department is requesting the following policy revisions and additions. Policy 301, Employee Benefits Revision. Policy 305. Policy 305, Holidays Revision. Policy 307, Sick Leave Revision. Policy 302, Personal Time Addition. Policy 310, Birth and Placement Leave Addition. And may I make one more comment? The approval of wellness exams was removed. I apologize for not saying that out loud. Melissa, the floor is yours.
Good evening. So I'll stay in the order as they're listed in the book. So for policy number 301, we would like to add birth and placement leave and personal leave. So would you like me to go through all of them, or do you want to just do one at a time?
Miss LePage, will we vote on these collective or will we vote on them independently?
It's really up to you how
Let's
you would prefer.
let's go through all of them.
Okay.
Would that be okay with the board consensus? Yeah. Let's go through all of them and then we'll have a vote at the end or questions at the end or questions maybe
Okay.
during.
So that's the revision for policy number 301. For policy number 305, we are asking to remove the holidays of President's Day, Primary Election Day, Columbus Day, and General Election. And further along in these policies, you'll see we want to replace them with 3 additional personal days for all staff. So we would exclude these holidays, and employees will now get 3 personal days to use as they please. Next item is policy number 307. And we want to make a correction from introductory to probationary. So it's understood that during their probationary period that they can't use any of their sick time. And then on the back of sick leave, it says employees may use up to 2 sick leave days. We would like to omit that because we are going to be offering 3 personal days. So what that means, instead of having 2 sick days to use as personal, all 12 of their sick days could be used as sick, and they'll get an additional 3 personal days to their bank.
Okay.
Policy 310 is a new policy, and it actually will break down the birth and placement leave. So we're looking to offer our staff birth and placement leave for maternal and paternal. So for maternal leave, we would give 3 days, and for paternal leave, we would give 1 day. So that is an actual new policy. Also, as I mentioned, policy 302 would be the new personal time policy. And that concludes the revisions and additions to our policy manual.
Questions of Ms. Henderson of the additions and changes?
I got one.
Go ahead.
The maternal days, paternal days, those are paid days for the.
Those will be paid days for the employee. So they'll get those automatically, and then beyond that, they would have to apply for leave. So it is not concurrent to the leave. The 12 weeks of leave that they're eligible for would be in addition to the maternal and paternal leave. Mm-hmm.
Good question. The PTOs, just you got to use them during the year.
Yes, for the personal time, you get 3 days as of January 1. You have to use them by the end of the year. You cannot sell them back, nor do they roll over.
And then one last question. Can you explain the probationary using what that means? Because I know what it means, but maybe.
So people were getting mixed up introductory and probationary. So we just removed introductory and use probation because they're on a 90-day probation, which determines in your first 90 days, we're evaluating your work behaviors to determine whether you're going to stay on full-time or not. So we don't give any benefit time until after your 90-day probationary period.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions of Miss Henderson? Okay, I'm gonna open for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments?
Yes, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. I brought this up to Mayor Angie before, but there was a little perk we had when we used to work at ANCO. You know, we were once 1,200 strong, and when we were there, we were the largest employer of LaPorte County, and we were also the largest contributor to the United Way of LaPorte County. One thing that we did is if we gave a generous donation of 1 hour's pay a month, the United Way of LaPorte County, we would all the employees would receive 1 bonus paid vacation day during any time we want. And I think, you know, with the loss of the employer base, we make no doubt we've lost a great deal of our employer base out of the last 20 years. I think that'd be a great thing for all the municipal employees to buy in on. So that's an idea I like to throw out there.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments on this item? Anything online? Okay, seeing nothing online. Any public comments? Going once, going twice? All right, close public comments. Any further questions of the board? Or do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Our next order of business is a road closure for a special event. The Michigan City Special Events Department is requesting a road closure on 7th Street from Franklin Street to the alleyway from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. each day, December 5th through December 7th. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Good morning, board, or good evening, board. Eric Williams, Michigan City Special Events. In the past few weeks, we received a very unique opportunity to add a fun portion to the Festival of Light celebration. We're looking at acquiring, I believe, a 40-foot tall Christmas tree that we would like to set up in the 7th Street Plaza. With that, we would like to add a tree lighting ceremony on Friday night that would also feature some food trucks, hot chocolate, visits with Santa Claus. So an interesting way to kind of improve that event and add an extra day. The map that was sent with this really just shows what we're looking at is just half a block from 7th Street to the alleyway right by the plaza. So just a few days a week. The closing of it aligns with the closing that we already requested for the parade on Saturday. Friday obviously would be standalone. The closure on Saturday does extend beyond the parade, and that's just in case there is high traffic following the parade in the area. But other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Any questions on Mr. Williams on this project? It's kind of an opportunity that came up rather quickly, and we wanted to make sure that we jumped on it to take advantage of it. The redevelopment commission has already approved the use of the lot, so we're perfectly fine with that. That happened this afternoon, and I think this is the only final thing we got to do with the road closure. Any questions? I think it'll be more than just a tree. I think there are some other things that will come along with it.
Yeah, we'll have the Santa house set up as well. We're working on some different kind of unique photo opportunities and things of that nature to kind of make it a season-long kind of attraction, but really kind of just to open the season, the road closure, just so that, again, following the parade and everything of that nature, we're covered with safety in the area.
Perfect. Any questions? Okay, I will open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item?
Yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. Just one little concern I have with the same thing when you approve the Shelf Ice Brewfest, he says, because it's a paved lot. You know, what if we get a lot of snow and, you know, that lot, we can't clear it because it's all grass, and if you might have a big mud mess if you have people on that lot during the snowy time. So that's just one kind of concern I might have with this. You might want to move it over onto 8th Street.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Going once?
Next week. No, it's this week.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to close public comments. Any other comments from any other consideration from the board? Questions? Can I entertain a motion? Someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
All right, our next order of business is a request for a special event is a request for a special event and road closure. Burnham Brewery is requesting the following: to host their annual to host their annual Long John's Winter Warmer Bash on January 31st, 2025 from 1 to 6, to close a small portion of F Street along Burnham Brewery for the Long John's Winter Warmer Bash on January 31st, 2025 from 1 to 6 p.m. I'm sorry, for 2026, from 1 to 6 p.m. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and address and explain what we're doing.
Hi, Steve Murray, 1215 East 2nd Street. So yes, this is our 10th anniversary of this event. We used to do it at the old location on Friar Road for the past 8 years, with last year being indoors at the brewery at our current location. So this year we're looking to close that small portion of F Street just after the north entrance of our parking lot, and just at the very end of our parking lot on the south side of the street there. So that small, I think about 120-foot stretch of that road. So we can have outdoor heaters. It'll be fenced in. It'll be closed for only that 1 to 6 p.m. Well, we'll need about an hour before and an hour after for cleanup to get it open, but it'll be open that night. So we're looking to have that. It's a event showcasing live music. The bands will be playing inside, and then we will have our food, some of our beer outside, some of our beer inside. We've got excise approval to already have that section be a section separate, like a extended patio of our liquor license. We'll have officers on site, and then so just looking for the quick closure of that for this event. So I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Any questions from the board right now? Any questions from the board? I don't see our traffic cop, our commander here today. Where is he? Am I just overlooking him? Commander Jesse? Okay.
So with 2 entrances of our parking lot being open, if anyone does accidentally turn onto F Street, they can still get around that closure through our parking lot. And then as well.
So we're not affecting Peru Street at all. Yeah, no, Peru Street won't be open, stay open. Okay. Will you have off duty? We have off duty. Anyone off duty there?
Yep. Officer Steve Dick's ready, signed up and ready to go.
Okay. Thank you.
We are still waiting for them to submit their insurance, but that'll be due by the next board meeting.
Got it. Okay.
Just waiting on some changes.
Yep. Should have it by the end of this week.
Mr. Warner, have you looked at any of this? Are you okay? Have you looked at this? Can you give us some comments, please?
Tim Warner, city engineer. I have not really looked at this, but it sounds like having it closed just to the north of the northmost entrance off F Street and having it closed to the south of the southmost so people can get through the parking lot, it sounds like, right? Yeah. I don't have any issue with the closure for this.
Okay. All right.
Also, we have written use from Blue Chip's north end of their lot on what they call.
That was my next question.
So we have that ready for use as well.
So will you be publishing any, I think one time through Instagram, or I'm sorry, I'm ignorant to that stuff, but through some of the social media things you put out, please park over here, additional parking.
Yeah, we post it on our Facebook regularly. And we're printing signage and having it hang on the tap room as well, just to try to direct people as much as we can.
Perfect. Any other questions from the board? Mr. Murray? Any other questions from the board? Okay. I'll open for public comment.
Thank you.
Public comment on this item.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. I am going to first talk as a member of the Alcoholic Beverage Board. He has not filed an extension to have his floor plans extended or amended. I sat on the board. It has not came before us. So that is not true whatsoever. I've been on that board for now 2 years, and I haven't seen it. We did approve his liquor license renewal, but that's totally different from this situation. Now I'm Rodney McCormick as a resident who lives approximately less than 1,000 feet from Burnham Brewery. Parking has been an issue over there, and you know it. I made at least 45 police complaints. They won't enforce the parking. They park wherever the hell they want to park at. They park on all the private property, cars everywhere. I have video after video after video I am sent to the police department. I've reached out to some other individuals. You guys know there's a serious problem over there. I don't know what the city owes this guy, and I don't really care. We didn't want it in our neighborhood. I speak for everybody in our neighborhood. I think we have another gentleman here that owns a building over there that might speak up as well. Nobody wants to see this. We were never asked, could they come over there? But they do it every damn weekend. Cars parked everywhere and on top of property. And then I see that I don't know if the city gave them approval or not. When they blacktop their driveway, they blacktop a part of the easement just so they can have, I think, 5 or 6 car parking on the side. They have no respect for us as residents. None. And it's sad because I know that he called the police on me one time when my car was parked on the blocking the sidewalk, and the police had the audacity to come to my house and ask me how long it's going to be there. I'm not feeling this whatsoever. Y'all done enough for them. You don't have adequate parking over there. There's some other issues that I'm pretty sure Tommy's going to bring up, but you need to address the long-term parking part of this. Blue chip is blue chip. They're not going to go all the way to blue chip and walk all over. That's not going to happen. This road closure should not happen because we don't want it. Where are you going to park your cars at? He has to park, and they have to use their cars. We can't go through their parking lot, but they can ride on our private property. I don't give a damn about all of this. I don't come down here that much no more because I don't like this administration.
Yeah.
But you need to come out to our neighborhood and talk to the citizens that live in our neighborhood because we had enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I have to question whether this board is even at liberty to grant this request. We have an ordinance 78-6, drinking in public and private areas. It shall be unlawful for any person to drink any malt, spirituous, finest liquor containing more than 1.5% of alcohol by volume, or to hold or to exercise domination or control any open container containing such beverage in any of the following areas. Subsection 1, upon any street, sidewalk, highway, or alley. Is what we're, maybe if you approve this, I might come back to the next meeting in August. I'll have a section of Hoyt Street closed so I can have Buck, Ray, and Rage's annual birthday bash. The other thing, if you do approve this, there's the matter of the $100 a day street closure fee. We always give these street closure fees away for free. We keep giving the store away for free. I just think this needs to be denied. It's like Rodney said, they've been a pain in the butt with their parking at their location. I think they should try to negotiate with Blue Chip to have use their east parking lot for this event. I don't have a problem with having this event, but we just close your bar and then have it inside your establishment that day. You're gonna have every other bar is gonna come and or brewery or want to have their street closure for their event too. So I think this just needs to be denied.
Hello, Brian Gross, 830 West 6th Street. I actually own a building on Cook Street, which is just 1 block away, and Burnham is right across the alley from me. I spoke at the Common Council meeting before they actually got the permit to occupy it. Zoning ordinance requires that they have about 145 off-street parking spaces for the size of their building. They have about 45 or 50. They don't have enough parking. I have friends that own property near there that complain about the trespassing that goes on their private properties. That is a residential area. It's not a business area. I'm not sure a street event like this is really what should be in a residential area. Also, there is a parking problem all the time. The people are parking on private property. They're parking on grass, which is, again, against city ordinance. You know, it just does not seem like a good idea in that location. The other thing is being on Cook Street. Cook Street is a very busy thoroughfare with people turning off US 12 or coming to US 12 from other parts of the city. I'm assuming they also come down F Street. What is that going to do for the traffic on Cook Street? Is it going to force more traffic down Cook Street during this event that is currently going down F Street or other streets there? And, you know, Cook Street is really almost a raceway with some of the traffic that's going down there. I'm just surprised there haven't been a lot of accidents on US 12, which happens to narrow right at that point. I hear horns all the time, especially on Sunday afternoon when people are going back to Illinois, of near accidents that happen. It just does not seem like a good location to hold an event like this. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments?
Hello, Scott Mellon, Turin County Place. I have a different perspective. One day inconvenience doesn't seem that terrible to me. I think the city made an investment in Burnham. I think they're a successful business, and it's in our interest to see them succeed. And these special events, I think, bring a lot of dynamicism to the area. I find that Route 12 is a commercial street. I find that being essentially next door to a casino is an industrial use. It doesn't seem like it at one time was a residential area, but it has now far more vacant lots than homes, certainly on Route 12 itself. So I hope you approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comments? Any other public comments?
Wendy Vacher, Public Works Director. I just want to make a few clarifying comments. I support this as we do a lot of different events. There have been a variety of growing pains. I think they've been addressed. We are redeveloping the community and it can be difficult. US 12 is very much an industrial commercial corridor, has been throughout. It's the reason it was built. Yet we want to be safe and thoughtful, and I think that's what's happening here. I think that Burnham has worked on their parking lot and a variety of other things in the area, which is a plus. And I do believe that the city engineer and others were very much aware of the paving and what we did there, which was not just to accommodate parking, but one of the reasons was also to get rid of the gravel. We are trying not to have as much gravel in the city, as you know, because it has a very negative impact on the sanitary sewer. So I just wanted to offer a few clarifying thoughts for your consideration and offer my support for this particular, and there will be others like it, and they're good for our community. Shelf Ice, that was a positive. Shoreline had a great event. I don't know that this is any different. Thank you for your time.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Any other public comments?
Hello, my name is Tyler Ream. I was born and raised in Michigan City, and I currently work at Burnham Brewing Company. First of all, as was already said, this is a very small road closure with plenty of pass-arounds for people to move. The alley on the other side of the building will obviously be open. Cook Street will be open. I don't think it will cause that much of an inconvenience. In terms of parking, I think we've generally only had issues with parking when there's a larger event at our brewery. It is not every weekend. I'm there every weekend. I've seen pictures of parking issues, and most of those have been cars legally parked along the road edge, along the empty lot directly behind the building. So as far as how we treat the neighborhood, I want to note that on our weekly checklist for the bartenders and servers, we go out and pick up trash all around the building every week. Most of that trash is debris from the highway. I've picked up a lot of large objects from neighbors throwing things into the woods, but we keep that very clean and we care a lot about the area we're in. So that's all. I'm obviously in support of this, and thank you guys for your service.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Any other public comments on this item? Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments. Any further discussion from the board or questions from the board? I'm so sorry.
In January.
20, so it'll be 1/31/26. I'm looking at Mr. Murray out there. Am I correct? 1/31. 26.
I would just like to state, I live on Friar Road and I'm a former neighbor of Burnham Brewery. And yes, their events are allowed But again, I look at it from a different perspective. We have a small business who turned around and chose to invest in our city and continue to choose to invest in our city. And yes, it is an inconvenience for that day. Sometimes you guys play really good music though. I can hear it from down the road. So yes, I am in support of this because we do need to support our small businesses. And again, we're bringing something new to the city. It's, you're going to have approximately 300 people at the event. It's an annual event. And again, you guys moved. Again, there are growing pains, as was said, but again, this is a good event.
Comments? Ms. Moore, go ahead.
I congratulate you on 10 years. That's really a big achievement, and it is. Small businesses don't always make it, and congratulations to you, seriously. I also am in support of it. I see it as a 5-hour issue. It's on 1 to 6, correct? It's not like it's early in the morning until midnight. It's 1 to 6. I do think we need police approval. Even if we were to grant this right now, I think it needs to be looked at by the police just to get their blessing. That's it.
Yeah, go ahead. Just, yeah.
I mean, I think that, being that this is your first, event in this neighborhood at a new location, will there be any notifications made to the neighbors or inside the neighborhood at all to let them know this is an event you're planning, because it will affect whether it's 5 hours or 2 hours, it's still going to affect their neighborhood.
Yes.
So will there be any efforts made?
Yeah, we'd be happy to notify every neighbor, put, a note in the mailboxes or send them out to everybody.
Don't put them in the mailbox.
No, gotcha.
Put them on the mailbox.
Gotcha.
I think when we did the shelf ice.
Yeah, we did.
That was one of the.
That was one of the requirements that we had to notify the church, and I think we notified where Mr. Holst is located in that building there. I think their doctor's offices and things there. Yeah, we did do that.
So for me, I guess, pending, like you said, police approval and what they think of the setup and proof of the COI.
Yeah.
I will be in support.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons, you're the only one who hasn't said anything. Do you have any comments on
I'm okay with the hours. I think they're not intrusive as far as the neighborhood goes, in keeping with the other businesses that we've allowed to do the same events, closing the streets. I would support it.
Yeah. Okay. I will say that I have been to some of your events, and I will say that you promptly closed them, and I appreciate that, because I have been to events where, okay, they close at 6, but you go till 10, and that's not very fair when we approve something that needs to be closed at 6 because it said it was going to be closed at 6. So I can appreciate that, and I just would like to say that I appreciate that. I think the notification to the neighborhood would be I think it's a good practice, honestly, for anything that we do in our day and when we're approving a closure. I wish Commander Jesse was here today, because I really wanted to have him review that and give some comments. So I do agree with that as well. Would anyone like to? Is there any more? First of all, is there any other comments to be made by the board? Any questions of Mr. Murray? We got him here. If you want to ask, please ask now. He's here before us and making this request.
I just want to comment. Of all meetings, I wish Captain Jesse would have been here so we could get him on the minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Would anyone like to? Any other comments, or would anyone like to take a motion? Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve pending review by Captain Jesse or the police and the receipt of the COI, and that should be done by next meeting.
Yeah. Would you like the notification too?
Notification? Yeah.
To the neighbors? To the neighbors?
Oh, and yes, and notification to the neighbors. Thank you.
Do our second.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Do you understand what you got to do?
I do.
Perfect. Thank you so much for bringing this to us, and I wish you well.
Thank you all so much for your time.
Right. All right, our next order of business, request, wait, make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I didn't miss anything. Okay. Request to purchase city-owned property. John Conrath of 621 Spring Street is requesting to purchase city-owned property parcel 4601294270024. Feel like it's missing some numbers, but that's what's on here. That neighbors his property at 621 Spring Street. Is Mr. Conrath here? Good afternoon. Name and address for the record, and tell us what you're what you're needing.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Thanks for the time. John Conrath, 621 Spring Street. I own about 20 apartment units, rental units here in Michigan City. I've bought, units in poor, sometimes uninhabitable condition, and I've renovated them. The most recent example would be 519 Washington Street. It's going to be a 3-unit apartment. We're almost done with that. Everything's going to be new besides the foundation there. So putting back newer rental stock into Michigan City is kind of what I'm all about. I recently purchased 621 Spring Street. Skylar, do you guys have this?
Yes, we do. It was handed out ahead of time. Yes, I do believe they have it.
So as far as I can tell, it looks like it's sometime in the past, I don't know when, there was a lot split. Where basically the lot was split in half, and there's a garage back there, and it looks like a dwelling unit. But what the lot split did is it left 621 Spring Street, which is like a red brick single family home, basically with no yard. I believe to the east of it is a city-owned lot. I'm committed to renovating this home, which right now is uninhabitable. My ask is that the city considers selling me the neighboring lot so that this single family home can have a yard, which it does not right now.
Okay. I'm sorry. You good?
I'm good.
Cool.
Oh, one more thing. So
Yeah.
there's zeros missing after that.
Yeah, I was like,
they're all zeros, 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 and then
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We know we got the map. We know what's being asked of us, so we're good. Any questions of the board for Mr. Conrath? Any questions of the board for Mr. Conrath? Okay. Ms. Vache, I saw you approach. I know that this was referred to, I believe, the planning department at this time.
Hey. Good.
So typically requests, just for knowledge, when we get requests, they're typically referred to the planning department, and then we go through a checklist, if you will, of some sort.
Absolutely. So Wendy Vache, Public Works Director, and I appreciate the work that Mr. Conrath is doing, and I very much appreciate the request. It was received, and I spoke with Dominique Edwards at length about this. She is our Planning Director, and at this time, we are recommending that we not move forward with this particular request. We would like to take another look. It's a very buildable lot for a home, and yet I do understand the limitations that are on board. And so we think there may be some other options in terms of how to accommodate you and maybe the other neighbor. And I would suggest that if it would be possible to meet with us, and we'd like to talk to you about this and maybe other properties that you have, and see if we can work out some things in the future. So that is the recommendation at this time.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure that I understand. So the recommendation is from the department is to deny the request, essentially, but then have Mr. Conrath work with the planning. Yes,
would love to talk more about this and some other ideas that we have. In this particular situation, there's some interesting things going on there with there's actually 2 addresses. There's some weird things going on in Beacon. So I'd like to work that out. So that's what I wanted to give up some additional information and to back up the conversation I had with Dr. Edwards.
Perfect. Any other questions of Ms. Director Vache? Any questions from the board, Director Vache? You good? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. I will open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item?
Yeah, Tommy Kalava, 1316 Ohio Street. I think you ought to go ahead and sell it to them and get this property back on the tax rolls. You know, depending if it don't have any water or sewer and utilities underneath it or nothing like that. It just seems like I've looked at it on Beacon and on Google Maps and everything. I think you ought to go ahead and sell it to them. We got too many other properties and we're not doing nothing with. A lot of these properties we acquired way back when during Ron Mears administration. I think Mayor Angie, she needs to get some of these properties out of our hands, like 6 and Willard, but next to Mr. Gross's house. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments on this item? Any public comments on this item? I'm going to close public comments. Any comments from the board? Any questions from the board?
Would it make sense that we table this as opposed to denying it right now? Because he's so willing to, or not? Not clear.
I don't want to table it necessarily just to have it come back and like if they don't work something out, I'd rather them maybe work something out and bring something back to us. Because what if I think I know what Ms. Vacher is thinking about, maybe splitting the lot. Could the lot be split? Could it be beneficial to both the northern and southern person as well? Is there another option? That would be something totally different, I think. Sorry. I just hate putting things on her.
Let me come back and clarify if you don't mind. That's exactly correct. And we do that often with, we had one at the Board of Works where we looked at an old right-of-way that wasn't being used. And that was split between two property owners. That might be valuable here. And I would also just love to learn more about his plans, or maybe something else we can work out, or maybe we would move forward. But I do think we need to sit down and talk. And so that's why I made my recommendation. But I appreciate and respect the thoughts and the comments, and happy to answer any others that you might have. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Any other questions from the board? Anyone want to take a stab at making a motion from the board? No takers on that one, huh?
I motion to deny.
Do I hear a second?
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Nay.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Mr. Conrath, do you please contact Ms. Vacher and let's see what we can do, and we'll bring hopefully something back to us. Does that sound okay? Okay. Perfect. Thank you for caring and investing in our city. We appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. Next order of business, a request for a road enhancement and use of city easement. Ian Osborne of 230 Walker Street is requesting the following: a complete sidewalk for Walker Street, Case Street west to 8th Street, and crosswalk to E 8th Street Bridge. Got it. Repair street light in same area and sidewalk repair. Repair Walker Street between Tryon Street and 8th Street. Use of city easement at the southeast intersection of 8th Street and Walker for Eastport neighborhood signage that will be funded and constructed and maintained by the Street Smart Inc. in Michigan City Renaissance Incorporated. Did I get it all, Mr. Osborne?
Pretty close.
Tell us,
pretty good.
For the record, introduction, address, let's just go through it again.
Absolutely. Ian Osborne, 230 Walker Street, Michigan City, Indiana. I'm here representing myself, but I'm also representing Street Smart Incorporated, which is a local youth mentor organization and community development organization. So to kind of, we have a PowerPoint for you today, and I'll try and scoot through this as quickly as I can. Your handouts are basically a reiteration of much of what you're going to see up here, but the front page of your handout is referring to the site. So I put the proposal in to the Board of Works to kind of add all of these things together, but obviously there's some things here that may be dealt with a la carte. So the first thing that we want to talk about is why we're doing this. We're teaching the youth how to navigate municipal process, as well as to have pride in the neighborhood, promote safety and accessibility to sites throughout Michigan City. This also health. So, you know, we're getting people out and moving and participating. Our first agenda item, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create with this neighborhood pride. One of the things that we want to do with the kids is create an Eastport neighborhood sign. Neighborhoods like Elston Grove or the Uptown Arts District have these beautiful signs that let everybody know where you're at. And, you know, Elston Grove is a historic neighborhood, and so is Eastport. And I'm happy to elaborate on that at another time, or, you know, deliver some, you know, a narrative or something that kind of opens up the history of the Eastport neighborhood and its importance in Michigan City. The kids are holding up a sign that you have a copy of in your handouts that is a rendering of what we would like to do. The base is congruent with the other signs like the Elston Grove sign and the Uptown Arts District signs. The base would be, you know, congruent with those signs. So the top is what we would be that we'd be creating custom. As many people know, the Eastport neighborhood and 8th and Michigan Boulevard at that area was a timber port, and Eastport, the East Port, was where one of the first sawmills in Michigan City that was part of this timber town. So that's what kind of inspired the creation of this sign to be in wood. And, you know, we have, as you know, Skylar, we have a little sawmill in that area, and we use it as a community resource for art and other things. So this is where we would like to see it. This is a beacon on the overhead or the slideshow. It's pointing out the property, the parcel where this would be an ideal location for it, which is also historically the location of the first sawmill. So that wedge there is undevelopable from my assessment, and it would be an excellent sign for, or an excellent site for a sign in that location. So the kids are holding up a rendering of it for everyone, and you see the idea there. Let me know when you're finished. It's okay. Understood. So obviously we know that this wouldn't really be something maybe that the city wants to put money into. So we're fully capable and willing to fund it entirely with the help and cooperation with the Board of Works' recommendation on who would be the stonemason for the base. And then we would donate the labor. And we're also willing to sign an infinite lease, maybe a 100-year lease or agreement to maintain the site, including landscaping, and make it a beautiful corner. We've been maintaining this corner already for a year now with our Street Smart kids, picking up trash and even mowing. So if the city would be so kind as to pop for the base, that'd be great, and then we could handle the top and the maintenance. Back one page, please, if you could, Drew. Thank you, sir. So moving on from the sign, which again is one request as part of this overall request, now we're on to the sidewalk. This is on the slideshow above, and on your, I think you have a map there. Again, the handouts aren't meant to be the focal point here. The PowerPoint, which you'll have a copy of, is meant to be the focal point. This is the intersection at Case and Walker Street in Michigan City where the sidewalk ends. This sidewalk was never completed, even through the development, which was done by John and Henry Walker and Emma Case in the 1800s. When they developed and platted this neighborhood, they just didn't finish the sidewalk. So I am the fourth of the fifth generation of Osbornes that live on Walker Street. My great-grandmother has walked that block. My grandmother worked at Hayes and Milton Roy and walked that block. My grandfather worked at Indiana Bell and retired from there. And they've been walking this block since the 1940s. And we've seen it all. I walked to school down that block. My father walked to school down that block. My son walked to school down that block. And we've all walked to work down that block. And many of the people in this room have walked down that block and nearly been creamed. There's inadequate lighting. there are road hazards that cause excessive movement into oncoming traffic on a street that has one side, street side parking with no driveways. So it poses a pretty sizable threat. We addressed this a couple of years ago with some of the folks that are here today to get a stop sign on Walker Street at Walker and Tryon, and the Board of Works approved that stop sign at that time. It has helped, which is awesome, but now we're kind of looking to create some further help. So next slide, please. Accessibility. It's not just about safety. We're creating an access point in a growing tourist neighborhood. There are many Airbnbs in this area. We've also done a traffic study and a pedestrian study that I've also included, and we'll get into it in just a second. We're creating, by completing this sidewalk, we're creating an access point or an accessibility between the Eastport neighborhood and beyond and into the rest of the city. Some of the access points obviously would be the beach, Blue Chip Casino. We have casino workers that walk the block day and night, multiple shifts, back and forth, rain or snow. The Calumet Bike Trail is right there. So a lot of people will pick up the bike trail or walk down. Hanson Park is there. So this is a major thoroughfare with a lot of pedestrian traffic. Next slide, please. This is a shot. I have a camera mounted on the block, and I got some shots of just people, you know, young and old, passing through. You can see in this photo that the people, when they're heading towards the casino, they're on the sidewalk until they hit the sidewalk end. And then they have no choice but to get into the middle of the road. Next slide, please. Here's some more. Next slide, please. This time, these are Blue Chip workers who are now heading east that have just come up the hill. They're so used to coming up the hill with no sidewalk that they walk down the middle of the road. And they're actually walking into oncoming traffic because it's street side parking on the opposite side of the street. Next slide. This is a picture of it at night, which oddly enough, that's a lot of light because the night that I chose to take a photo on the block, there just happened to be someone with a porch light on that is never on, which is funny. Otherwise, you would have just seen a all pitch black photo. This is the same shot looking towards Blue Chip Casino at the road hazards that are causing people to avoid that. In order to drive around it, they move into oncoming traffic where the people are walking. So the people are walking where the sidewalk is incomplete right there. And the cars now are avoiding that, which poses an additional hazard. So this is a look east where the sidewalk ends, where we're asking for that sidewalk to be put from this point. Next slide. Oh, okay. And so it would continue here down the hill. Now I spoke with Tim, the city engineer, and Tim informed me that this is in fact being addressed by the city and that you guys have considered doing this. But one of the challenges that was posed is that it needs to be ADA due to the slope. So with the slope, the challenge is okay, well, who owns those woods right there in order to create the switchback that would be necessary in order to create the ADA accessible sidewalk? I own that property. Next slide, please. This is a beacon for that parcel where I'm willing to, in writing, grant the city an easement to create the switchback necessary in order to create the ADA accessible sidewalk and complete the job according to, you know, the ADA recommendation or specifications. Once down the hill, then obviously it'd be nice to have a crosswalk there. And this is where it's at, along with some adequate lighting similar to that that's on 8th Street, you know, have some pretty street lights that could be solar or something like that. So we did this in collaboration with the Indiana Department of Health. The Indiana Department of Health sponsored our organization to do something called a tactical urbanism project that we did September the 27th. And many of our mentors and youth are in the room, and we had a great turnout, and a lot of people turned out to support. We also got a wonderful letter of support from our mayor, and which was also a necessary part of the grant application. For us to get that, we were required to have a letter, and Mayor Angie provided a great letter of support. So the Indiana Department of Health, again, They sponsored Michigan City Renaissance Incorporated, which is kind of our umbrella and mother company, and Street Smart Incorporated, our proposal. We were one of 5 statewide finalists and received the largest grant award available. That was due both to the quality of our application and the project itself, the scope of the project. So we had to do a town hall as part of this, and we got a lot of people to show up, and people recognize that these are things that are absolutely needed for public safety and accessibility in our neighborhood. This is some of our mentors and board members. We got a great group of people, and we're excited to continue on with this. Our kids are great. Again, they're here learning how to do this. This is how you do it. This is a traffic study, which is going to be, it's superficial to some degree, but it represents one of the things that we did with the kids with a radar detector or speed detection. We also, and you have this in your handout, so if it's hard to see in your in the PowerPoint, it's the last page. We did, for this study, we observed and logged data for 1 hour per day for 7 days in teams of 2 to 6. The times of the study varied from 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the results are below are as averages and percentages. We logged the following data types: the number of pedestrians, what type of pedestrians, guessing, number of cars traveling, the rate of speed of each vehicle, whether the vehicle stopped at the stop sign, the number of drivers on cell phones, and the combination of violations. An average of 1.7 pedestrians per hour traveled in either direction. An average of 19 cars per hour traveled in either direction. An average of 2.4 cars per hour, or 14%, completely disregarded the stop sign. 25% of the drivers were exceeding the speed limit. Of those 25% speeding, half were on their phone and blew the stop sign. 3 of the 7 days studied, we had one driver doing 15 miles per hour plus over the speed limit while blowing the stop sign. Couple this data with the following: road hazards or rough patches and potholes, street side parking on the south side of the street, poor lighting conditions, and the obvious blind hill, because this is in fact a blind hill. And this may be one of the least pedestrian-friendly streets in town. Before that last page, again, this was a neighborhood-wide petition that I'm representing here today. And we didn't do a super intense job of trying to get signatures. We got about 100 signatures that are included in the petition. And I think it's needless to say that everybody in the neighborhood would love to see this. It's great for our neighborhood, it's great for the people that live there, but it's also essential for a growing tourist town and people creating an access point to even things like, Blue Chip Casino that I'm not a fan of. So with that said, we hope that you support. And again, if there's any way that we can help this, I'd love to, to talk with whoever to do this and make it happen. Again, Tim was great. City engineer was great. Seemed really receptive, and I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Before you go, yeah. Questions of Mr. Osborne? Mr. Simmons?
I think what they're doing is great. I fully support the effort.
Other questions or comments from the commission, or from the board?
I just want to make sure I'm clear exactly. You're looking to put a sign up and asking for our approval for a sign that you will fund, correct?
Absolutely.
No, or you're asking us to fund it.
If it could be a joint thing, great. If not, if we're going to deny based upon city available funds, then we'll absolutely do it. You didn't hear me say that.
How much was the grant that you received?
The grant it wasn't for the sidewalks or any of that. The grant was for the event, which was called Walk in Walker Street on September the 17th. And that was to raise awareness for this for this project, but not for the sign itself. That would come out of our own organizational funds.
And then the street and lighting and everything else is for us then, for the city.
Absolutely. And if we can phase into that, that'd be great. You know, I know that these things don't just happen right away, but, you know, obviously, I think if we were to do a prioritized list for Michigan City of the places that need it the most, this has got to be in the top 3. I can't see it. I mean, I'm born and raised here. I can't see one more that would be this bad, especially due to the growing amount of pedestrian traffic. It's also a popular thoroughfare for people drinking and driving. I have quite the collection of liquor bottles that get chucked out the window while people circumvent Michigan Boulevard and skirt down 8th Street from Verk's Liquor.
You know, I was looking at some of your numbers. I was like, maybe we need to too bad Commander Jesse isn't here today.
That's where, like,
Like he's missing the meeting.
Hey.
Ms. Smith.
So I took notes because you said a lot, so.
And I'll try to get out in 5 minutes.
It's okay.
So looking at the sign that you presented a picture of, I think you said the top will be custom built by
us, by our organization, with our children.
And do you have an estimate of the cost of the total?
For the top?
No, for the total of the sign, because you said hopefully the city could do the bottom.
Well, I think we could.
The brick.
The base.
The base.
Yeah.
And then you guys would do the custom. So did you have an estimate of what that cost what that cost is?
So we could come up with an estimate, but if the city were to get involved, obviously utilizing their particular contractors, then the price would be X. But if we were to do it as contractors, or if someone from our neighborhood were to bill it, it would be half of whatever the city were to do. But we weren't sure if you guys would want to try and, you know, match what Elston Grove did or what the Uptown did. So if we were going to try and do some, you know, some stuff that's common for Michigan City or a theme for the base, then that theme would be, the price would be based upon, you know, what it would take to match that, that style, if you will. The top would be free.
So a couple, sorry, Ms. Smith. Yeah, go ahead. Do it. Do it.
Okay, you also mentioned the lease agreement to maintain the sign. Can you speak to that a little bit more?
So I guess I misspoke when I said lease agreement, but ultimately it would be a maintenance agreement, and we would, kind of similar to how they did the fountain at the, what is that, was that Millennium Park, or where the band thing is down there by the bridge, where, you know, we could do a sponsor, a brick, we could fundraise for it, but ultimately we would sign an agreement that says that we would maintain it. It wouldn't have trash. It will not be overgrown. If it needs repair, we're happy to perform those repairs.
So just to put it out there, you've done a lot of work. It's obvious that you've done a lot, put a lot of thought into this. So with the way that we do signage in the city of Michigan City for things like this is we do it through a licensing agreement. So when you're asking to rather than a maintenance agreement, it's called a license. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. LaFay, just as a licensing agreement. So what that licensing agreement does, it says, because it's something permanent, right? It's meant to be permanent. We're not going to take it down in a couple of years, we hope, right? So it's through a licensing agreement. My only question, some of my questions just kind of fall back on, I don't know that the city proper owns, I know that it says City of Michigan City, but it may be in care of the sanitary district.
It's not. According to Beacon, it says City of Michigan City.
It doesn't matter that, because there's a lot of infrastructure right there on that corner. So we just need to, there's a lot more things to do with respect to putting something permanent there. Like if it was to a catastrophic failure there and they had to take out the manhole or the bulkhead there, okay, now we got to take the sign out. So I'm just trying to think, we need to think about not only what's there, but what's under that. And I do think it is in the care of the sanitary district, because there's two, I've actually asked the question and I'm pretty positive it is in the care of it's their property to give easement and or license to. My thought is just putting something there, being thoughtful of what's underneath it, just in case of catastrophic failure, we have to go move it, and we have to dig out the sign as well. Just want to be thoughtful if we put something there, not necessarily against signage, but if we put something there, making sure that it's put there permanently and not going to interfere with anything we could dig underneath or whatever, if something was to fail. That's my only comment.
And we could also adapt. We could move to a wood frame model with concrete posts. It would be much easier, to remove. so we can create a modified version of it to be, removed and replaced.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, any other questions from the board? Any questions from the board? Ms. LePage, should I get everything out there?
You did. I mean, I
Okay.
would just recommend referring the signage specifically to the planning
Yes, it would have to go.
so that they can work with and get the dimensions, double check of the
If there's funding available.
land.
Could I ask one question, Mr. Warner? Mr. Warner, you and Ian met, you talked about the sidewalks, things of that nature. And then could you talk a little bit about the road? Obviously, there's some issues there. It looks like there's been a lot of water sitting on that road. Is there plans to pave that, or where's it at in the Pacer?
Tim Warner, city engineer. Where Walker Street is between Trine and 8th Street and the Pacer, I'm not sure. It's probably a 4 at this point, which would put it high on the list, along with many, 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 many other streets that are high on the list. This coming 26 year, we're primarily doing things west of the mall area there, trying to get that area, 6th Street, 7th Street, 8th Street, west side of the city done. So most of our streets on the 2026 CCMG are over there. A little bit of Michigan Boulevard is being improved as well as part of Washington, I think is on our list. So at best, this would be a 2027 if the state still does the CCMG program for community crossing matching grant. We don't know. Things are changing often down in Indy as well as in Washington.
And then could you speak to the sidewalk as well? I believe you have had
The sidewalk, he and I talked about it, and he had mentioned the switchback. If you think about the Bicentennial Amphitheater where the band plays, you know how that sidewalk zigzags back and forth down the hill. That's kind of what we would have to do to meet the ADA requirement for grades along there. The property sounds like it could be available to do. So it's possible. It's probably a very expensive project, but it seems like it's something that the community would like. I can come up with a cost estimate for this, get cost estimates for that. One thing I have a question, you talk about repair of street lighting in that area.
Oh, I actually didn't say that. That was a misquote on that.
Okay, so it's
more so
just getting street lighting added.
Absolutely.
Okay,
If
okay.
we added lights to that, it would be a big help in the interim.
And that's certainly something we would probably do if we do the project, is have lighting at each end of these switchbacks so it's well lit as you go down the hill.
Right.
Ian, may I ask you a question? Was that a picture of the intersection itself, the dark picture? Okay, that was just up or down the street.
Blind Hill.
Okay.
So a lot of people, again, blue chip employees and such are using that hill.
Yeah.
And when they use that hill, they're walking up that dark blind hill
Yeah.
day in and day out.
Seems like the intersection should, I don't know if I know we need to light up our intersections. Maybe we could look at that as well. So, sorry, Mr. Warner, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it's at. I mean, if the board wants to come up with a cost estimate, we can get a back of the napkin kind of cost roughly for what it's going to cost. And if we want to proceed, then actually get a design, get some elevation shots and start working out the design of the switchback sidewalk.
Okay.
Or even without it. I mean, I don't know if you can even do it without it, but if you can't do it without it, I get it. But
I think it's a matter of ADA standards at this point in time.
right. So public safety is trumped by ADA. Right.
Sometimes the obvious is the obvious, right?
Well, just saying. Now that I put this out there, it's not like this was meant to be anything other than what it is.
Totally.
Everybody knows now.
Absolutely.
So I have personally, with my own eyes, seen children yanked out of that street, nearly being creamed. I have personally been almost creamed over a dozen times throughout my life growing up on the street. And I'm just saying, it's super dangerous. And these children that are in here right now, God forbid.
Yep. Any other questions, Ms. Tisdale? Did you have any questions of Engineer Warner that I have not covered?
I'd like to hear Ms. Vachey's opinion on this and how this fits into the city plan.
Director Vachey, you have been beckoned.
No, I was going to say,
The question was, what is your opinion?
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was having a sidebar on another matter.
Okay, it's okay.
And it involved a sign. It's ironic. First of all, impressive.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, can we hire your crew to do some other work in town? Because we really do need more surveys. I mean that sincerely. It really is cool work. Here's my opinion. First of all, on the sign. It looks great. I mean, and it does have to be worked out. We need a cost estimate. It's always bigger and more expensive to do a lot of things, but we can figure this one out. It may have to go through Historic Commission, not a problem. I don't see any problem with that, just depending on how the agreements get worked out. I think the sign seems pretty cool, and it's a really interesting concept in how you're doing it. That's my opinion on the sign. On the sidewalk, we were talking before the meeting. You know, we have so many sidewalk needs, and I know that Engineer Werner has talked about that too. And we're trying to prioritize and work on that. But the work that was done is very interesting. I think it's worthwhile to talk through and try to get more information. And as far as the conflicts or any kind of issue that's needed from the sanitary district, as the general manager, I can help work that out. So I would say let's continue to talk and see what we can figure out moving forward. That's my initial thought on the matter. I apologize for being a little delayed in my response. Any others for me?
Any other questions to Ms. Vache while we have her here? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Any other questions of Mr. Osborne or City Engineer Werner or anyone else on the go ahead.
Can we just summarize the asks?
Yeah. Do you want me to do that or would you like for Ian to do that? How about if I take a stab at it, Ian, and then you correct me if I'm wrong? How about that?
Go for it.
Okay. I think the ask is for a licensing to explore Do you mean for what I think is being asked? Okay, just making sure. Okay, so I think the ask is the use of the property to put a sign on. It would be a permanent sign, and it would be maintained by your organization and sounds like the Renaissance organization as well. Two organizations or one partnership that takes care of that sign
With a contract.
with a contract or license, whatever that be, whatever mechanism that is. Secondly, it sounds like you are looking at street lighting on there, making sure that it's adequate and up to standards. Third, I think you're looking at fixing of the road to some extent, when that's going to time out, when it's going to be replaced, when's it going to be patched and or replaced. And then I think fourth, looking at the sidewalk connection to get down to 8th Street and provide that pedestrian sidewalk connection to East Street, to the pathways, et cetera, to all those connections. Did
Absolutely.
I accurately
That's
get
correct.
that one? Okay. Is there one more?
Oh, and the crosswalk.
Oh, that's what I meant. And the crosswalk. I included, crosswalk included in that. Yep.
And I would have done these a la carte, but then I would have had to go sit down and then you would have called me up again
No, you're
for the
good.
next one.
You're good. Well, we got to open up for public comments. I'm going to open up for public comments because I know there are some, and I see a lady over here waiting for public comment. Public comments.
I'm Teresa Lebo, 219 Walker Street. My block is the second one after 8th Street, coming up the hill. I see a lot of employees walking to Blue Chip to go to work, and they got dark clothing on, and people just don't see them. There's no way for them to get safely away. They go over to the side of the road and all. But I think that's a very concern for safety for them employees, because they got two shifts. I see it going in the morning, and then I see the evening shift too. So thank you for your time.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for coming today.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. I'm 58 years old. I've been in this neighborhood majority of my life. I just want to thank Ian and all the young people and all the volunteers who came out and did their work. And the good news is they're all from Eastport as well. A community comes together, come up with ideas to make improvements in our neighborhoods. Seem like infrastructure for the neighborhoods that exist right now is not a priority. but this is something that everybody in the neighborhood agreed on. And I just want to touch on something here. Ms. LePage, you was also on this, been the attorney here for quite a while. I believe it was almost 3 years ago, I came before the Board of Works. Corporal Wright was here with me, and there's a lot of problems on Walker Street with illegal dumping, houses being improved and then being broken into, dark, nothing's being done. I laid out a demonstration. I gave photos. Mr. Wright agreed that this is something that needs to be done. We need to put street lighting on Walker Street, including the alleyways as well. Well, unfortunately, when this administration, new administration came in, by the way, the board approved it. It was supposed to have been done. For whatever reason, the lighting still has not been taken care of. I don't know why we playing politics or playing games with the safety of our community and our residents. I don't understand it. So that's something that should have been done a long time ago now. It's like I'm with Ian. I mean, just every weekend it seems like we are out picking up the trash in the neighborhood. We're not complaining about that because we live there and we want our neighborhood to be beautified as well. We talk about, you guys like to throw around vibrant. I think it'd be vibrant to take the input of our neighbors and our citizens and beautify by putting a sign that says Eastport, and then also taking care of the safety issues in our community. You know, a lot of people don't come. It's hard to stand before this mic and not be frustrated with what's been going on for the last 3 or 4 administrations. It's like we always are ignored. Coming up that street I've almost hit a couple of people as well. It's too dark. There's issues going on, but Ms. LePage, you can testify to that. And I hope that you tell this board the same thing I'm saying is absolutely true. The board voted for it, but when administration changed, we're not giving you nothing.
Can you wrap up, please?
I just don't understand it. I could.
Please wrap up because you're over your 3 minutes. Okay, then sit down.
Okay.
Thank you.
We just go somewhere, right?
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. We need a new administration.
Thank you for your comments.
We need a new administration.
Thank you for your comments.
We need a new
Thank you for your
administration.
comments.
And we need to stand for what we
Thank you
stand
for your comments.
That's good.
Please, Tommy, here you go.
Yes, Tommy Kolavic, 1316 Ohio Street. I know this area very. My family used to own property over there, 301 Tryon Street. So right, Tryon Walker Street. Ian used to be my neighbor.
Sure.
You know, my niece said she decided to move away. It was my niece's house we bought for her, and I went in and fixed it up. We sold it to his current owner. I think these infrastructure projects do need done. I think Tim said there's like $162,000 worth of infrastructure projects that need to be done around the city. That's all gonna have to get on. There's no doubt that's probably one of our most densely populated section of the city, but yes, our most underserved. The crime there has been unspeakable. I'm not even gonna go into details, but that's so horrible. But as far as the signage goes, I know don't mean to be a bad guy, but requests like this come in the past, and it's like, they've always said it's always got denied because you always said that the city has to have control over the content of the signage. I remember about 10 years ago, there was a good-looking woman from South Bend. She came in and she wanted to put advertising in all the bus stops, and Amber told her, no, we can't do that. The city's got to have a control over the signage. I really think this might be better if the sign would be put on private property. I remember back in 1996, I remember Oprah Winfrey had her estate out in Galena Township, and she wanted to pay the entire length of County Road 1000 North out of her own pocket. And she wrote a nasty letter to the county commission. Our county attorney, Shaw Frieder, told her, no, you can't do that. You can't use private money to fund public works projects. So I don't know if this would fall under that realm, but I really think this may have to go on a private land and be privately maintained by their organization. But I do think that this infrastructure does need done, but it's just going to have to be put on the list with everything else. It's just my comments and my ideas of it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, Brian Gross, 830 West 6th Street. As I mentioned before, I own a building on Cook Street. For anybody not familiar, it's just east of the casino. And if you turn off US 12 going down Cook Street, you come to Grant Street. You turn right, then you follow the road to the left, and that's following the casino. Later on down the road, you'll cross the walking path. I think that's still part of the Singing Sands Trail there. And you'll pass Hanson Park. I put my canoes in at Hanson Park. I run and walk and bike on the trail. And then you come to the stop sign at 8th and Walker Street. All the way from 12 to 8th Street, there are sidewalks. Once you get to Walker Street, there's no sidewalks, crosswalks, anything else. And just because there's a stop sign doesn't mean the cars are going to stop. I've been at that intersection a lot of times. The intersection itself is not that safe, especially for pedestrians, bikers, and other people. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any other public comments? Come on.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
So my name is Angela. I reside at 317 Holiday Street, and we've lived there approximately 7 years. This is my youngest son, and I had a 16-year-old. For almost 5 years, I was a single mom. I'm a general contractor in the area, and so it was hard trying to work to provide, housing, being a single mom. So it was never knowing when I was going to come home and not find my kids, because they go to Hudson Park or that park, and they would go up and down. And there was so many times they would come home early, dark, because they're going up the hill and they're going down the hill and they can't see and there's no lighting. So it was always, how do you, take your kids and leave them locked in the house because you don't want them on the video games, but yet you trying to let them explore the park that's there for them to go to, but you don't know if they're going to come back or you're going to come back home and you're going to find your kids alive. And it's many children in the area, and I'm sure I'm not the only single mom that was in the area. So I just asking for you guys for your blessings, because kids in the neighborhood definitely need it.
Thank you for your comments. Oh, yeah. Do you have comments? Okay, just making sure. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Yeah, come on up. Come on. Please.
Hi, I'm Teresa Brown. I have a property at 123 Hobart Street. I have a childcare there. And that intersection at 8th and Walker is very dangerous. I cannot take my kids around the block that I am on because of that street. I would rather go to the block that's next to me, that's Vail and Walker and Hobart. I'd rather take them on that street because the other one is very dangerous. Let two cars come down that street and someone's walking there. It would be very tight. We just need this sidewalk. That's all I need to say.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other public comments? Come on up. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Ken Young. I've been a Michigan City resident for about 40 years. And just to introduce myself, I'm actually a martial arts grandmaster. I've been training my whole life. Neil Singleton is my dad, and he trained me.
Mm-hmm.
So my children went to Miss Brown's daycare over in Eastport. And yeah, we did that event here recently, and that's a very dangerous area. And my main concern is the children in this area, to keep them safe. And there's a park down there. So like she said, they used to go down there all the time. So please consider that. Let's fix the situation before something drastic happens. And we don't want that. Perfect. Have a blessed day.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? I got you, Scott. I see you. Any other public comments? Yeah, come on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Ortman, and I live at 717 Franklin Street, which many of you know is called Art Space. And I'm one of the people who was retired and was the beneficiary of having a place that would allow me to live and maybe take some of my volunteer time and put it to good use. And so I happen to be the founder and president of Michigan City Renaissance. And I'm also the chairman of the board and one of the co-founders of Street Smart. So I'd like to think I put some of my time and took advantage of the opportunity that the city created to bring some of us crazies in to put some of our skills to work. And I'm not going to come up here very often, but I just wanted to say, I hope you recognize the tone and the time that we put into this presentation tonight. You will never see us be antagonistic. You will see us do our homework. You will see us involve the community. And when people come to the meetings, and I stand on the side and open my mouth when I need to. And when somebody starts saying we and they and we're going to get this, and I go, excuse me, this is a 501c3 and we are a private corporation. There is no we, there is no they, there is only us. And if you came in here to do we and they, you came to the wrong meeting. And I hope what you saw tonight was people from the community coming together, young and old, who developed a plan that they believe in. And this is, I said to them, they're like, they're not going to let us do that sign. And you know something? That's all you guys talked about was the sign. So Ian Osborne has worked his butt off with these kids. Our guardian angel, Dale Cooper, is here. We've got a small but mighty team. Phil Jackson, who's our board president for Street Smart, couldn't be here. We have 3 adults to work with every 5 kids. That's a pretty good ratio. So we intend to keep it growing, and we will cooperate with you. Just tell us how you want to work with us. Tell us what you need, and we'll do it. We're not here to argue. Thank you for listening. This was an inspiring night. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. Previous speakers brought up many good points, and I think we did get sidetracked on the sign. There's a public safety issue here between lighting, crosswalks, signage, and the sidewalk. I understand modern ADA requirements complicate things, but others, can we pretend it's the 50s? San Francisco and Seattle have plenty of sidewalks that don't have switchbacks. People need a safe place to walk off the street. There should be something between full ADA compliance and walking in the street. Lighting is something that should be attended to. That's clearly an important issue here. And, you know, if there was ever a time for one of Sean's favorite things, a flashing stop sign, it might be at that intersection. I think we could recycle some from Franklin Square now that they've been there a year. I think people know they have to stop. But instead of complicating the sign with the full, beautiful rendering that is an ideal, is there a chance for a temporary license, a simpler sign for the community involvement, community identity, and to show the kids that this can work and not just get tied up in bureaucratic red tape? Because frankly, I'm sure that's about what most of us feel like, including probably the board members. So is there some win-win solution here that is not the full $50,000 gateway sign, but can there be a temporary Eastwood sign, a temporary license, while all these complicated issues are getting worked out? You know, a couple 4x4 posts and a nice custom-made sign at least show our community cares, and some solar lights to light it up. And so can we think outside the box, something that meets the needs of safety, crosswalks, maybe a crosswalk sign, a flashing stop sign to meet that need? Lighting gets more complicated and expensive, but something to let them meet this goal. And thank you for this, for letting everyone speak. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Ian, anyone from your group that would like to speak? Any of the kids that would like to speak? They made time to come here. Do you have anything you'd like that they'd like to say? I'll let you make one more comment. I'm going to consider this for the kids.
Thank you. So as he has spoke for the light, so for the people that go back and forth to work at the Blue Chip, as I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the area, it sounds like you do, but there's a lot of homeless that, you know, like hang out over there. And so it's important for their safety, you know, for them coming and going at nighttime because they hop out. And then also on Holiday, there's no stop sign at Case and Holiday. So they can't access, the children can't access that way. So the only way is Walker.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I will close public comments unless there's anything else that the kids would like to say. So seeing none, I'll close it down. Public comments. First of all, I think you did a great job. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, it's not lost upon me. I think we just got to make sure that it's done, that we do it correctly. And yeah, any other comments from the board, or what's the preference of the board?
I'd just like to say that I think it's a valid ask. The presentation was great. I'm very impressed with the work put into it. It sounded like a city presentation.
Yep.
So I would have been accommodate.
What I guess my thing is, go ahead. I'm so sorry, Mr. Simmons. You finish. No.
But how do we tie that in with the city?
Well, I think we're going to have to refer to the planning department and let them take a look at it, unfortunately, because there's going to have to be like some type of agreement, if you will, between the organizations and for perpetual maintenance, things of that nature. So that's one thing I think we have to do. And then with respect to the sidewalks, I think that's going to be Mr. Werner looking into it and making some decisions on the street and sidewalk, just like any other request that we have before us.
Yeah, we have been, there's been a lot of talk over the years about lighting up the city. That has been a constant. So hopefully we can step up to the plate a little bit.
Yeah, I would be curious to see if that intersection, I mean, on top of this, meets lighting standard for the intersection. I know we're required to light up our intersections. Maybe there's something that we can do with that as well. So I know that wasn't on here, but any thoughts? Any other thoughts?
Motion for favor.
Yeah.
If we take a look at the sign issue separately at the moment, is that something that could be done by our next meeting and report back? Is that enough time?
I do not know the answer to that. You have to get with the planning department and work with them to figure out who owns the easement for sure, and if it's technically ours, where does it go, what infrastructure is underneath there, etc.
Do you know if that's enough time?
I don't know if that's enough time or not. Ms. Fache just, so I can't answer for her.
Yeah, I think all that we can do right now is refer it back to the sign. So there's two things here. There's a right of way issue with respect to the road and and the sidewalks, and then there's a signage issue, which is kind of separate in my opinion, because they're going to go two different places in my opinion. So go ahead.
Ian, if I can call you Ian, I think it was an excellent presentation. I think from what we heard and from the comments we heard from the board, I don't think anyone was under the belief that the board was going to be against this. So sometimes, we have to be careful. Because you can get more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
Yeah.
So when vinegar comes up here, it kind of makes it hard. But I think this is an excellent opportunity to involve our youth, to take care of our youth, and to create pride. Obviously, I just think that we need to refer what sections of the ask, because there were 5, to the appropriate places, and then work with our engineer and planning and with the team that presented to make this come to fruition.
Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, like I just.
Why don't you take a stab at it?
Okay, motion to refer all 5 asks to the appropriate departments, that being either the city engineer or the planning department, for further information gathering. And if possible, information about the sign, if that could be prioritized on how we could get some type of cost to see if we could get that, either a temporary or whatever, to even get that going. Something like that.
Is there a second? Amber, was that okay motion?
Well, it was fine.
Sure.
It was to the appropriate planning and engineering, so all 5 issues.
Is there a second?
Support.
Before I call the vote, because I think I know where we're going to vote. Actually, let's call the vote and then I'll ask my question. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Ian, can I call you back up here real quick?
Megaphone? Megaphone.
Hey, thanks for doing this. It's really impressive. We want to thank all the kids for doing this too. It's really impressive. I want to be clear that we're in favor of this. It's just got to go to the appropriate ways. But are you okay with getting with Ms. Vache and working through the signage thing? That's really the one I was kind of honing in on. Is like, let's make sure we get that going, because that's probably going to take the most, in my opinion. And it seems like the most logical though that could get done. So,
Yeah, it's
is that
easy.
okay? Yeah, it's super easy, 100% easy. Yeah. Could you do that? Is that okay?
Get with Ms.
Ms.
Vache.
Ms. Vache, she'll
Yeah.
help you if it's her, or she'll dictate it to who it needs to go to in that department, if that'd be okay with you.
Right, just to clarify, if it is held by the sanitation department, do you go before the sanitation board?
She's in charge of sanitation. That's why I looked at her. I was like, hey, if this is them, she'll be able to help you out with both boards.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
The answer
Appreciate
would
it.
be yes.
Yes,
If
the
it
answer
is-
is yes.
If it is sanitation, this board wouldn't have
Yes.
the jurisdiction. It would have to go in front.
Yes. The answer is
Unless-
yes.
Unless there's an alternative location that's.
So you guys voted
Like-
to defer?
We are putting it in her hands, and she's going to make that. She's going to help with that decision.
On every issue.
Well, the other ones are going to go to Tim Werner. but
Okay.
With the sign, it's going to go to Ms. Vache. Talk to her about it.
10-4. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you for coming and putting the presentation together. We really appreciate it. I know. All right. Next order of business is a road closure for construction. Bendix Builders is requesting to close a small section of Lake Ave in front of 416 South Lake Ave to install a main for a sewer line for a new home for December 3rd through the 5th. Are they here tonight to present this? Anyone here from Bendix Builders here? Mr. Werner, have you looked at this at all? If so, do you have a recommendation?
Tim Warner, city engineer. No, I have not looked at this, and I haven't really had a chance to catch up towards the bottom of our list after the previous one. So, I guess the issue would be more with the sanitary district. If it's a sewer line, they would need the permit, and I don't know if John Gorsica has looked at this either yet. But I mean, if the sewer's in the center of Lake Shore, Lake Ave, they have to close the road to get there. So I don't think it's an issue once the lateral needs to be connected that we wouldn't issue a permit to them to do so.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Sure. Okay. Any questions of Mr. Werner from the board?
Yeah, we'll certainly work with them on getting any maintenance of traffic detour routes and that set up beforehand. So, but I'll talk with John about it tomorrow and see if he's aware of what they're doing as far as sewer connection.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so what is your recommendation to the board? Would you like for us to approve this or hold off on it?
No, you can approve it, make it contingent upon sanitary district approval.
Perfect. Would anyone like to make that motion?
Motion to approve contingent on sanitation's approval.
Great. Here a second.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Mr. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, next on our board, on our meeting, we have public hearing on transit operations, this is a formal public hearing on zero fare system for Michigan City Public Transit. Ms. LePage, do we need to do anything formally, or is that good enough?
Just open it for public hearing now.
At this time, I'll open it up for our formal public hearing for zero fare system here in Michigan City.
Last Board of Works meeting, November 3rd, I, Robin Barzoni Tillman, presented a proposal for a zero fare transit system in Michigan City. I wanted to come before the board, ask for a period of time for public comment to gather riders' surveys, their opinions, and how they felt about the transit system and the zero fare. I also needed time to perform a Title VI, FTA Title VI, fare analysis. I have those documents, I've presented them to the board, and the board in the last meeting requested me to identify the labor hours spent on cash management. Did you guys receive those?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
We have an estimated around $75,000 we're already expending, just counting the $70,000 that we're receiving each year. And at this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment. I'd like the board to.
Absolutely. Is there any public comments on this item? Any public comments on the zero fare system here in Michigan City, Indiana? Any comments?
Yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I'm all for the zero fare. I think that would be great. I know last time I mentioned we need to have a transit app showing you when the bus is in the city. But the other thing I forgot to mention that we need to really add a fifth bus route to service the east side. I know everything that Clarence mentioned about all the development, like the Moore going in, Tryon Meadows. I know Tall Timbers, they've never had a fixed route bus stop over there. They've always complained about that. They never had bus route when I was at ANCO, with the new development going on Royal Road, we need to consider having a fifth route for a fixed bus route. I think that's something we should have had a long time ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Come on up.
Nancy Cross, 501 Pearl Street, retired Michigan City Transit driver. I think this is a great idea. I did have a couple questions. Will the triangle be a round trip? Because you get one round when you're on a bus, even if with a pass, you get a one round. And I was thinking about the triangle. Is that going to be free? Are you going to be able to ride to LaPorte and come back? Or do you have to get off in LaPorte or Purdue? Do you have to get off for Purdue? That was one of my questions. And then the age limits. Are we going to have a whole bunch of kids in the summer riding without parents? That was kind of a concern. I don't know. I never had any problems with kids on my bus. Homeless people are going to ride. They're going to be on that bus, and they know one round. They're not the problem. There's going to be problems probably with regular passengers more than the homeless people. So, and people are going to explore new places. Some people have never ridden the bus. I don't know if any of you were on any of my buses. Good time to go for a ride and check it out and go farther. You can go down the boulevard now and go to a great little shopping mall down there with Ace Hardware and Family Dollar, So there's going to be more exploring, I think. And then you're going to get people from Chicago that want to use their card to pay for their fee and they can't. So now it's going to be easy for them and more will ride. There's always a concern on the bus when you have free that someone's going to misbehave, but Miss Robin will take care of that. You make your call and she will take care of that. She took care of us through COVID. When everyone was getting sick, she put up all kinds of barriers for us and took good care of us. I'm also up here, I think she needs some new buses. The same buses are still there that I drove. And 3 of them have a 12-inch step in to get in and no pull up to pull yourself in. So when you're going on your little ride, they ride one of those and get them some new buses. They didn't have a lot of air conditioning this summer either. When City Hall complained about air conditioning, I was thinking more about all those ladies and gentlemen on the bus that didn't have air conditioning. And there was a time when she had to shut down and do like every other round. And probably because all those buses were in the shop getting worked on. So, that was part of it. I think there should be a think tank for the transit system. I think, as Tommy had said, I think you need to go a little farther. You'll get more people. You're missing trailer park out there on 212, Tall Timbers. I think that things could go that way. And I don't know. I have a lot of good ideas. Of course, she knows how to do all this stuff because she does it in her head Like she can read those legal things and know exactly what they mean when the rest of us are stumbling on the first sentence. So I totally trust her with this idea and I trust her with this transit system.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other public comments?
Scott Melantour, Kenwood Place. This is a great idea. It's one of those things that I said last time. It's counterintuitive that giving away something for free is more cost effective for the operation. My only concern is what happens if and when the funding runs out that allows us to do this? Because there's a federal funding or a grant that's allowing us to do the fareless thing. What happens if we lose that? But I certainly hope you approve this. Thank you.
Mrs. Tillman, would you like to address anything?
Our 5307 federal funding from Transit Administration, there's always an possibility that we could lose funding.
Sure.
However, this funding has been consistent for the last 30 years, an apportionment, and we are 3 years ahead. We're still spending 22 money, not our 25, our 26 money. Also, it's like our capital funds come from a different pot. Our capital funds, we have 4 buses coming within the next 6 months. 2 of the buses should arrive the end of this month.
Perfect.
And it's like we have a standard we have to reach with our fleet and our replacement fleet. And we can't replace a vehicle before it's time.
Perfect. Thank you for that information. Is there any other public comment on this item? Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, I'm going to close public comments. Ms. LePage, is there anything I need to formally do? I'll officially close the official public hearing for the Zero Fare system in Michigan City, Indiana. Ask.
Is this indefinite?
I would love a permanent fixture for Michigan City. We're a unique town. We're a beautiful city. And it's very unique that we even have public transit.
Yes.
However, with our population and our poverty levels, we can't afford to raise the fare to garner more income. So this is the best system to put people on the bus. And as I stated in our last meeting, our apportionment is based on ridership and miles traveled. And to address Ms. Cross's question, going to LaPorte is a trip, coming back is a trip.
Got it.
And so they'd be asked to exit the bus.
So they'll have to get off, get back on.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. And if the driver is operating the unit properly, they won't arrive until it's their time to depart.
Perfect.
So they're not just sitting there.
No.
They leave.
Perfect. Ms. Moore, do you have a question? Comment?
I was just wondering if maybe we could do like approve it for a specified period of time and then reevaluate it, maybe based on your comment that you just made. Does
5 years?
Oh, I know why you.
Well, we have our apportionment split going forward for the next 5 years. Our funding isn't in jeopardy
Sure.
for the next 5 years.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So if I get a 5-year approval and then it's like we come back and each year we get another increment of approval. So it continues. So it's like if you approve it contingent that we're receiving FTA funds.
Are you okay with that? I guess is my. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because as I understand it, the FTA funds aren't going away.
Okay. Let's we kind of are past our public comment period here. Yeah. We need to get.
You still have one more issue. You can allow public comment on
Let's do it.
this issue too.
All right.
Yeah.
Be quick though, please.
I would do it for 1 year. You can always renew it.
Sure.
That's all.
D.
Didn't have D Haddad 516 Wabash. It doesn't have to do with the amount of time. I was just thinking of just a reminder of how we can communicate this all to the community about the free ride and the stipulations if there's ages or whatever that is. Just clear communication.
Perfect. Okay. What is the pleasure of the board?
I recommend a longer period. It's like in public transit,
Yeah.
1 year is not enough to assess anything.
I agree
So
with
I
that.
definitely need a minimum of 5 years.
Yeah, ridership changes so drastically, and it depends on economics and what the situations are in the world and all these things. It's very volatile, if you will. It's very different. Recommendation to the board, or board would like to make a comment, or I'm sorry, a recommendation.
Motion to approve, and following the director's recommendation of 5 years. That's my motion.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Oh, aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Do we need to, but we still have to hear the other one as well? I'm sorry.
No, you already just approved
We're
it.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Our next order of business is payroll docket for November 14th, 2025. Has everyone had time to look that over? And if so, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Moore. I'm sorry, Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next is our claims docket for November 17th, 2025. Has everyone had time to review these? And if so, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And so on to our unfinished business items. I'm going to look at Mr. Werner and ask him, have you had any further information on the CSX railroad? Would you like, so hearing that he has none, I am going to recommend that we keep this on our tabled list until our next meeting.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And on to public comment. We're done.
Public comment, Tim Warner, City Engineer. The last item on the previous list, permanently repair the blacktop roadway patch at the intersection of Tilden and Gardena. Street Department has already done that, so that's done.
Perfect. Any other public comment?
Yes, I want to congratulate Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I want to congratulate the Michigan City Wolves boys football team winning the sectional championship and going over and beating Valpo back-to-back. That's the first time I've ever done that in history. I want to express my gratitude to the fire and police department. They gave them an escort on the way back when they won the sectional in LaPorte, and all the businesses, their marquees and everything all going out. I don't get tired of seeing that. It goes all the way back to the 1966 Elston Railroad. Anytime we get deep on that tournament, other communities, they go all out for that, and I think we're no exception to that. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other public comments? Any other public comments?
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ron Muir, 105 Roberta Avenue. I see the general manager of the sanitary district had already left, but wanted to bring up a public safety concern in regards to Strebel Pond. Just the overall upkeep of that park has been really just terrible over the last few years. The maintenance, the upkeep, the safety out there, and the conditions of the restrooms were terrible. But more importantly, the maintenance of Strebel Pond itself, the hydraulics and the flow of that structure and Kinsel Ditch. The weir is blocked with tons of sediment. The pond hasn't been dredged or maintained since probably around 2017 was the last major maintenance that occurred. I will be addressing this with the Michigan City Sanitary District, but as you recall, in 2009, when roughly around 2009, when Strebel Pond was built, it brought the Forest Manor and the Village Green neighborhoods, portions of the west side, out of the floodplain. So if this flood control facility fails, and that's why I'm bringing this to you without the proper maintenance, and those neighborhoods flood because, not to mention there's also beavers building dams in Kensel Ditch itself. And all of these things put together with the sediment and the weir control and the various mechanisms of this flood control facility are not working, and it floods those neighborhoods, that could be catastrophic because people got rid of their flood insurance when Strebel Pond was built. So like I say, the overall maintenance of the entire facility has went down, but that's probably the most important aspect, that we got to look at that, and we got to look at it quickly, because if we get 100-year rain, there's going to be catastrophic things happening throughout those neighborhoods. And so, like I say, I know this is the Public Board of Works. I'm going to bring it to the sanitary district's attention. General manager was here, and I'm sure that being this is on public record, that you'll make sure that it gets to the appropriate officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? I'm so sorry. Any other public comments? Okay, I'm closing public comments. Any board comments? Any board comments? Okay, we'll do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Perfect. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.